Okay, so Violet's view, know yourself. That's what my father told me many years ago. Know yourself, know what you don't know. Have you ever just kind of dealt with people that you're having a conversation with them, they can never accept truth? They're always coming up with an excuse as to why it's not them, why they're not the problem, why they're not the issue. And you're sitting there and you're thinking to yourself, can't you see, can't you hear everything that I'm saying? And one of the things I appreciate is my father saying to me many years ago, know yourself, Lawanda. Know yourself. Know what you will do, what you won't do, and then know what you can't do also. So let me give you an example. Before I realized that my body did not like drugs, this was years ago. Um, Before I realized that, I remember thinking to myself, I will not, I can't use drugs. And I remember thinking that because I felt that if I used drugs, I would become addicted. And so what happened, I never did use it because I really believe that. I just believe that there was something in my nature, something in my character that would make me go on the extreme. Like some people can use different types of drugs and they're fine, they can function well, and then others can go on a whole extreme level. So that's just kind of that example of knowing yourself. I also remember thinking I had my son, and as you know, I had my son, and I thought to myself, I could probably be an abusive mother. I really believed that I could be abusive. And so having that in my mind with him as a baby, what happened? I was not abusive. My son and I had a very good relationship and continue to this day. And it's so great to see him with his own children. And so I think what it really was that I understood myself and I understood my limitations, and I there was fears that I had about what I would do, what I could do. And then you have those who live in la la land. That will never happen to me. I will never do that. And my mom used to say to me, never say what you will never do because you don't know what you will do in life. And those kind of things has really shaped the way that I think, the way that I try to be very careful. I can be, for example, I remember years ago, early on, and I was working with this company, and I'd be in a meeting and just irritated by what I'm hearing. Um, but I know myself, and I'm thinking, and I'm praying, and I'm thinking, okay, Lawanda, don't say it, don't say it. You know yourself, you know you're going to go off, you know you may say something that hurts someone's feelings, so don't say it. And so when you know yourself, you're better able to have a little bit more control than someone who's just living in la la land. So I could give you an example, but you know them. You're having a conversation, you guys are disagreeing, it's the same disagreement. You're trying to explain to them that they always see it this way and everybody else around them sees it one way and they just can't see it. And that's just really because people do live in this world of make believe, and they buy into their own baloney, that it's not them. And maybe sometimes it's not, but a lot of times if someone is telling you something about yourself. I remember my aunt many years ago would tell me things about myself that I didn't like. But instead of arguing with her, I thought about what she said. I thought about what she said, not only her, but one of my brothers. And I thought, you know what? I must come across that way. So I've got to work on it. So when you know yourself and when you're open to being honest, when you're open to truth, then there's ways that really can help you out. And so I'm going to tell you the thing that has helped me out more than anything else. And that is freely talking to God. And I don't mean I have a holy prayer because I don't have holy prayers. The holy prayers are, hey, thank you for this day and bless this person and watch over, etc. I don't really have those prayers unless I truly deep down feel that way. If I am annoyed with somebody, and I have been, I my prayer is something like this. God, this person is ticking me off. And I'm about to say something to them that's going to just make the whole situation ugly. So please stop me from saying what you know I will say and what I will do. I need your help desperately. Please, please, please help me. And so I'll pray that in my spirit. Obviously, I can't pray it out loud because then there's an argument with the other person. But you can just be real and honest with God. And that's what I like. So when you know yourself, then you know that It reminds me of this verse in the Bible where the publican is like this publican and this who's this sinner, and then there's this leadership person who I think what were they? A Pharisee, they're a leader in the church. And so the church leader goes, oh God, thank you so much that I am not like, other people. I do good things. I tithe. I'm not like those sinners over there. And then what happens? The sinner comes and he prays and he says, he can't even look to heaven. And he just says, forgive me. I'm just such a sinner. I can't even, he can't even look. And so what does the Bible say? The Bible says that he was justified, and so this person knew who he was. The Pharisee was just as wicked, as evil, as whatever as that other guy. And yet he just didn't know that he was. So just because someone doesn't display that, it doesn't mean that they're good. It just means they don't display it out in public. And I want to leave you with something else. Don't ever think when you know yourself, just remember something else. A person's influence, their credentials, and I don't know if this has anything to do with what I'm talking about, but this is something that I repeat, and I learned this at a young age. A person's influence, all the credentials they have, the money that they've made, the titles that they have, has absolutely nothing to do with character. So, for example, your doctor can be wicked, evil, and devising all kinds of things to deliberately harm you or other people. And yet, the guy who picks up your trash every week can be someone who's compassionate, who's kind, who's thoughtful. Your doctor can be someone who's compassionate, kind, thoughtful, and looking after his or her patients. And the trash guy could be the person who you got to watch out for, who's gonna, that may, throw your trash out or try to break into your house or whatever. You know what I mean. But the bottom line is don't ever associate someone's title, their position, their influence, how much money they have, all the degrees, all the certificates that they have with character. They are two separate things. So I guess these are probably two separate conversations, but basically, hey, know yourself and just be honest with yourself. Be honest with who you really are, the dark things, the good things, the bad things, because when you are honest with yourself, you have a much better opportunity of not repeating the negative things that you really don't like or others really see in you. So just know yourself and ask the Lord. If you don't want to know yourself, then you can go to God and you can say, hey, listen, I don't want to know myself. I don't want to believe that the things that the people are saying about me are true, but reveal truth to me. I want to know who I really am, and I want you to help me to be different. And so we want to be people that are trying to make peace. It's hard to do that, but we don't want to be people that just refuse to accept the truth, refuse to accept the things that we've done in the past that are just wrong. And we've got to just acknowledge that. And when we do, the truth will set you free. All right. Remember, know yourself and talk to the one who you can tell anything to, and that's the Almighty Creator.